Hey everybody, happy Thursday. Thursday means Thursday night football is on along with the Philadelphia Flyers and the 76ers. Tonight's game is the 9-3 Saints against the 7-5 Falcons. The game is in Atlanta, which has the Falcons sat at 2.5 point favorites over the New Orleans Saints. Comparing statistics, the Falcons' offense averages 22.8 this season, which is 14th. Their defense, or their yards for their offense, is 365.2, which is 8th. Passing yards is 249.6, which is 11th. And rushing yards is 115.6. And then comparing that to the Saints' defense, which of course is what they're going to be going up against. The Saints' defense allows 20.2 points a game, which is 12th, 330 yards, which is 12th as well, 217.2 passing yards, which is 11th, and rushing yards is 112.8, which is 17th. So the Falcons are going to have to use Freeman and Coleman in order to get some offense going against the Saints, being they are more expendable in the rushing yards category in terms of their rank rather than the passing yards category. Now, the Saints offense gets 29.4 points a game, which is third, 408.6 yards, which is second, 266 yards passing, which is third, 142.6 rushing yards, which is also third because of that combination of Kamara and Mark Ingram, which is the deadliest running back combination in the NFL statistically this season. And then if we look at the Falcons' defense, how they will match up, they allow 20.3 points per game, which is 13th. They allow 321 yards, which is 8th, 207 yards passing, which is 6th, and 113.2 rushing yards, which is 18th. So this is a closer matchup than most would think in terms of defense as well. Of course, the Saints have the better overall defense, but the Falcons' defense has just been inconsistent and steps up and then doesn't step up. Although this game is in Atlanta, which, like I said, puts them as slight favorites over the Saints. So it's going to be an interesting game. Matt Ryan's going to have an actual good game and not just this nonsense that he's been having some of this season where the running game and their defense really takes them over the lead. Ryan statistically isn't doing bad, but that's because he also, in my opinion, hasn't taken enough chances this year. So against the Saints, you're going to have to take some chances to Julio and Sanu and the like so you actually get the ball down the field. You can't keep being conservative like Matt Ryan's been doing. He has 16 touchdowns and 8 interceptions, so that's not awful, but you would think more of Matt Ryan than that compared to seasons past. He has a 95.4 rating for 3,057 yards compared to Breeze, who has 3,298 yards with 17-5 and a 104.2 rating. Breeze has the lower touchdown stats than normal because of the Kamara and Ingram combination. Kamara has 606 total yards this year, 705 average with 7 touchdowns and a fumble, as Mark Ingram, who is expected to play tonight with a sore toe, has 922 yards with a 5.12 average and 9 touchdowns. And if we compare Julio to Michael Thomas, who's actually having a great season in New Orleans, he has 3 touchdowns on the season for 875 yards, 1167 average. Julio has a 15.63 average with 3 touchdowns and 1,063 yards. So Matt Ryan has to get it deep to Julio, which has been successful in the past few weeks, but they haven't been able to get touchdowns out of it. What he needs to do is get deep passes against his team. They have to run the ball well with Coleman and Freeman. Otherwise, it's going to be very tough for the Falcons if they come out like they did last game and only get in like the 17-point total. They actually have to come out and score against the New Orleans Saints because they're one of the best scoring teams in the NFL. I would say I'm going to give this game to the Saints on the road because the Falcons just haven't shown me enough in recent weeks to show that they can go up against the Saints. They didn't do good at all last week, and they just haven't been able to consistently score enough for me to think they can go up against the Saints offense. So even though the Falcons are favorites by 2.5 points, I'm going to take the Saints, and we'll see how that prediction goes. Tonight at 8:30, the Thursday Night Football kicks off against the New Orleans Saints and Atlanta Falcons. This is Sports Fanatic News. I'm Joe Boric. This was a look ahead to the New Orleans Saints and Atlanta Falcons. Peace out, everybody. Have a good day. Enjoy life.